straight from the realm of all things gaming. Everything Noob starts now.
Everything Noob Podcast, episode 139. Welcome, I am Vortek, joined as always by Miss Jemmy, Mr. Dreadlow. How's it going?
Good.
It's
good.
So, we have a lot to talk about. We have quite a big announcement we're going to jump into here in just a second. And the show is going to be a little bit old-fashioned. We're just going to talk about some news stories that are of interest to us this week. And the reasoning for that is because of this big announcement. And the big announcement is, I'm just going to jump right in here. The next episode, episode 140, is going to be the last installment of the Everything Noob podcast.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
Toby?
No!
That's the reaction I was hoping for, and no one said anything.
It's bittersweet. It's so, I will shed a tear.
But there's some good news in this, though, right?
There is some good news. We finally found a way to get rid of Dreadlow. We can just do the Jemmy and Vortex show like we always wanted.
High five!
Yes!
Oh my God.
No,
Oh.
not really.
Oh, I didn't mute him first.
Oops.
Oops. I mean the Dreadlow and Vortex show.
Oh.
No, we have been kind of all over the place. We've been very inconsistent lately with the show, and that's because we wanted to take a break. We wanted to kind of rediscover ourselves and make the show a little more focused on like community and things like that. We've been strategizing in the background. How do we build the community up again? And we're all working towards that. That hasn't changed, but what we've discovered in trying to change the format of the show is that we don't have a lot of things to talk about when we avoid the news topics because we're all trying to get on the same page with games we're playing and just topics of discussion overall. And what we wanted to do was make it more focused about something specific because it's a lot easier to tell people what our show is about when it's not about something so broad as to say gaming news. So I think that's what's stunted our growth. Huh?
It's pretty nebulous.
Yes. That's what stunted our growth as a gaming podcast. And, I mean, in the last few years since we started the show, we're approaching, I mean, we've been around for about 3 years now, right?
Yeah.
August? So
It's been a long time.
October's 3 years.
October's 3 years. Okay. So 3 years of doing a podcast, and we've basically learned a lot more about marketing and what it takes to grow something like this online. And we've been doing it wrong the whole time. So we've decided that it's time to change things. Now, we have a very strong idea of what the next show is going to look like, and we would like to do that in the next couple of weeks. So after the next Everything New podcast, the following week, you can expect the new show. So we're giving ourselves a couple more weeks to prepare for it. But it's going to be a lot more focused. What I can tell you is it's going to be about indie games. It's going to be hosted on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/vortecvids, where I'm already playing a litany of indie games. And it's going to be probably shorter. It's going to be a lot more video focused. You're going to be seeing the things we talk about actually on the screen rather than just our faces. We don't even put images up of what we're talking about, which is, I think, in terms of doing a video podcast, a pretty big no-no. Honestly, but we just don't have our recording stuff set up that way. So I am going through all this stuff, trying to figure out how to change the setup and make it look how I want it to look. And yeah, ultimately, we're going to produce a much stronger, more niche-focused show. And the community stuff will come in as it comes in. So that is what we can tell you for now. And next week we will have all the details on what the show's going to be called, what the specific topic is going to be, so on and so forth.
It's going to be called Everything Dreadlow.
Everything Dreadlow. It's just we're giving this podcast to Dreadlow. He's just going to talk by himself for an hour.
Pretty boring show that would be.
Hi, I'm Dreadlow, and I played a game today, but I fell asleep afterwards and got confused if it was the game I played last week or not. So no, I'm what was the other thing I was going to say real quick about that? Oh, this podcast, we're going to keep all the videos on the Everything Noob YouTube channel, youtube.com/enoobcast. We have since stopped uploading to the RSS feed for a couple reasons. Mostly the price went up on us, and we're trying to figure out a different hosting method for the next show. So that is why we've noticed that the views on the videos have gone up since the audio has stopped coming, which is awesome. So thank you guys for following us and actually finding that without any kind of announcement, any kind of anything. You just did that. And that was really cool.
Yeah,
It was really cool that we didn't have to say anything. It just kind of shows us how dedicated you guys are. So we're going to do a lot more to make sure that you guys who do like the show and do want to keep listening to us in the next thing we do have the information you need to do that.
Yeah. So we're not going away. We'll just be under a different name.
We're trading up, if you will.
Yeah.
We've run this podcast mobile into the ground, blown the wheels off of it, and
Well, I mean, video killed the radio star.
exactly. So, and we will be doing an audio portion, but it might also be different, very different from what you're used to. So, yeah, I'm excited. This is actually good news. But moving on to topics, we're just going to do this the old-fashioned way. I found some topics of things that we should probably touch on. But first, Jemmy said something like the second before we went live that really caught my interest, and I need to know more.
Don't know how you guys missed this, but the Voice Actors Union for video games, I think they were voting on it yesterday, or maybe it was really in the near future. They're probably going to go on strike. They're basically looking for better protection and health for the voice actors, and a lot of times, apparently, the gaming companies will have them come in and do a ton of voice work, and then suddenly now they're doing motion capture too, and that wasn't like a part of their contract. And so they're like, this isn't really, like the stuff that was written about contracts with voice acting and stuff is very archaic and was written in the 90s. And basically they're looking to update the contract to be more upfront with what they're going to have to do when they sign on for a job.
So it's probably a very broad, vague contract.
Yeah, right now it's really broad and vague, and so they're looking for it to be a little more focused up. And, usually with union strikes, yes, they're looking for a little pay increase, but they feel like it's justified because they're asking for a more professional job now than they were, when voice acting first started jumping into gaming.
Yeah, because now they got to get in suits and put these things on their face and... Right?
Well, I mean, now they're actually getting real actors, though. They're not just grabbing somebody from down in accounting or something and be like, yeah, why don't you come do a voice for us?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Radio still does that. Just FYI, working in a radio station, you saw
we're
that
talking
all the
about
time.
hours and hours of work for the voice actor, and you're talking about a minute commercial.
Yeah, come on in and lend your voice to this real quick. I got on a whole bunch of commercials that way. But that's crazy. I don't consider myself a voice actor, but I am working towards building my own career in voiceover, which is different from voice acting. But you're taking two things that are very intriguing to me, video games and voiceover, and throwing them in one topic. So yeah, I'm very surprised I missed this news. But that's
yeah,
crazy.
they're about in the process of voting with the union members if they're going to go on strike. And I think it was 70% or something need to yay it, and then they're all going to go on strike.
Wow. Yeah, I would like to figure out how to get involved with that union. If there's, I don't know, that sometimes joining a union means that's how you get in, get your foot in the door, something like that. But this could be totally different. That's crazy. That's cool, though. That
I think it's good, though.
They're protected by a union. Unions are very important for that sort of thing. Target, cough, cough.
Well, because a lot of times if you're a voice actor, you're kind of like an independent contractor, and you just flit around to job. And the union kind of makes sure that you don't get abused when you're getting hired for these jobs. And there's an industry standard of what to expect for you as well as for anybody who's hiring you or any other voice actor.
Yeah. That's cool, though. That's I wish them the best.
Yeah, I hope they get what they're asking for. I mean, it just seems totally fair to me. I know some people are no to unions and stuff, and it's but there's a certain point, and they do some good, and they do some bad as well. But
yeah.
In this case, I think it's justified.
I mean, usually a strike is the result of them not being heard.
Exactly.
So is that the problem? They've suggested something, they're not being heard, so they say, okay, well, we're going to go on strike.
I think they're locked into this like universal contract of what voice acting for video games will be. And so
Gotcha.
they're just kind of like, we need to update it, so we have to go on strike to get that.
This has got to be big companies involved. This can't be like
Oh
just
yeah,
voice actors that are randomly hired. Like this has to be like a union for like EA or something, right?
No, it's the SAG-AFTRA, and they hire out to like everybody.
So people come to them for voice talent, and that probably makes it very easy to form a union around.
I don't know if they hire through the union, but I do know if you're like a big name in video games, if you're doing AAA titles and stuff in video gaming and stuff, you're gonna be like kind of probably a part of that union.
Wow, that's really cool. I'm excited for that because that's voiceover artists. I'll give you an example. This is going to go kind of off gaming for a second. I've been trying to continue building my voiceover portfolio. I have a lot. Okay, I've done a lot of things, especially working at a radio station, but it doesn't seem to be enough. All it really is radio commercials. And that is just one. That's basically, I can take one of those, and all the tons of commercials I did boil down to that one, because someone's going to look at that portfolio and go, okay, these are just radio commercials. I only need to hear one of these to know how he would sound as a radio announcer. So I looked to Fiverr to try to increase that portfolio. Now, I have gotten work on Fiverr. I got one really big job off of Fiverr, and ever since, I've been very much into turning my nose up at the small offers now. When someone orders a gig, generally they try to spend the least amount. I charge $5 for every 100 words. This person had me read 17,000 words. And
wow.
I gave them, I didn't charge them the full price. I gave them a deal on it and made myself a pretty penny. And I was like, you know what? This is awesome. This is really cool. And then I have a friend who's in voiceover. You may know him as our announcer for the podcast, Drew.
Yeah.
He told me that even that is underpaid compared to the stuff he's getting paid for.
He's incredible. He's got an incredible voice, though. I like his voice.
No, it's true. But the point is, like, voiceover, the way it works is you could be grossly underpaid or paid very, very well. And it's never really in between. It's rarely in between. So these guys are probably already making decent money. Just knowing that one fact. But it's a struggle. Like, I'm getting contacted every couple of days. I have a new email from someone like, I have this project. Would you be interested? And I'm like, yeah. And then they order it, and I see $5 purchase. I'm like, so.
Well, it's not mostly about pay, because they're like, a lot of the stuff they're quoting is they'll come in and for like 10-hour days, like they're asked to like scream in pain like over and over and over.
Acting.
So like their voice is shot.
They get paid even more because they have to like not be themselves.
So like, this isn't just the big people. These are like also extras and stuff who just do the soldier's voice in the background and stuff. So like these people are screaming all day, which means if they have a job that's like their day job that they do and they just do this on the side, if it's a any kind of job that requires communication, they may have to take time off now because they can't communicate because their voice is gone. They've lost it.
Yeah.
They can always get Nicolas Cage.
health concerned as well, because it's like we want more breaks and shorter days and stuff like that, because it's like this is wrecking all our voices, and it's a no bueno.
I didn't even think of that, because they're acting in a video game. They have to say things they wouldn't normally say. They have to act a way they wouldn't normally act, and they got to stress out their voices. Like, people who are considered themselves voice actors are people who can do crazy ass voices in the mic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't have any cartoon voices in my resume or
you
portfolio.
ought to try. Write skits for yourself. There's one horrible bad part of this that I thought of. Do you remember the writers' strike? Like,
yes, I do.
And how bad TV got?
That was some of the funniest TV ever.
Oh my god!
Some people took advantage of it in like late night shows and made it a thing.
Okay, but just think about how bad a lot of the good shows got during that period. Like 2 years from now, you're going to be seeing the effects of this strike if it happens.
Yeah, that's what year was that? Do you guys remember? I'm sure we can just look it up real quick, but This is
say
the
it was
classic Everything New podcast.
2005.
What year was the writer's strike?
I'm sure Conan did a great
Before I even hit enter,
piece on
Google
that.
gives me the result. November 5th, 2007.
Oh, I was 2 years.
Wow.
That's
Oops.
interesting. If you watch any show on Netflix that ran through 2007, pay attention to that year because that you'll probably notice the writing declines very, very much.
It goes in a way different direction usually.
Everything changes. Yeah, it's really strange. And they all come back and the show kind of picks back up again.
Oh, that's crazy.
The Office was pretty good example of that.
Yeah, The Office had a very low point. I'm pretty sure that was during that
That
time.
was the writer's strike.
Yeah.
I was just like, what
So
is
basically,
up
what
with
they
this?
did during the writer's strike is they just got anybody that,
Yeah, they just
Oh,
needed
yeah, pretty
they
much.
needed content.
like
Anybody who
Janet
wasn't
at the
a part of
reception
unit.
desk, or
Yeah.
whatever.
well,
they'll
I've
just-
always thought the show could go this way.
Or like any new things that came out during that period, they just like rated their vaults with like things that they had.
Oh yeah, and everybody
Like,
giving
no.
their all, just putting
Yeah.
everything they can think of into it because they want to be a writer. You know what I mean? So they'll like tweak the heck out of it, say, "Oh, this is gonna be good. You're gonna like this."
Things that they would
So
have
they can get
never green lighted before were suddenly getting
Yeah,
lighted.
Yeah.
that's funny.
So we will, if they go on strike, we will see the effect of that in a couple of years when that turnaround time comes around.
One of two things will happen: either a whole bunch of games will get delayed, and or this could be both, and or there'll be really crappy voice acting in some of these upcoming games.
Well,
I'm
think
because
about
thinking
of
crappy
how-
voice acting.
How much they churn out Assassin's Creed games, for example. You're right. A couple Assassin's Creeds from now, we could see some terrible voice acting.
Oh,
Well-
I bet some games will try to creatively work around the need for voice acting.
Yeah, we
Well,
could
I'm
go back to
wondering if-
text on the screen and or
I'm
Animal
wondering
Crossing
if-
chirping.
If this strike is going to affect those games that are already made but haven't been released yet, I mean, are they going to, because of the strike, are they going to have to delay the release because of the
Ooh.
fact that,
No,
Nah, probably
they might
not.
say, well, I'm on strike. You can't put that out yet.
no, they
With
can't.
my
do
They
voice
that.
signed a
on.
contract. I mean,
They're,
That's
it's
true.
contracted. They own the content now that they have it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think that some bigger companies that have that rely on the main character's voice are gonna be like, we can't do anything without that guy, and we might see some delays. But there is a lot. Gaming isn't just about voice acting. That's probably one very small portion of the big picture. So they'll probably do everything else in the game until the voiceover strike is over, and then do it last.
Yeah,
Do as much as they can without the voiceover in there.
They could do that, or you'll see a lot of spin-off titles in the series.
Yeah.
Like, here we'll do this side story that's nothing to do with the rest of what we've been doing, just to kind of release that and not have nothing coming out. And it's either going to be terribly voice acted or a silent protagonist or text. Here's a card game.
Yeah.
Oh, here
Assassin's
comes.
Creed cards.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. Very interesting. Doesn't really fit into the rest of the show, unfortunately. I wanted to transition somehow, but I'm like, I can't. There's nothing I can do. Because the next show is going to be about indie games, since if you've listened for this long, maybe you've earned another tidbit of what we're kind of thinking about for the next podcast, because this will kind of merge into the next topic I want to bring up. But we are thinking that the types of indie games we will discuss will be exclusive to games that are non-linear, that you can kind of play your own way. A great example of a non-indie game would be like The Sims. Everyone can play The Sims. You can watch a video of someone playing The Sims, but it'll never be the same as someone else playing The Sims. RimWorld, I play that a lot on my channel. That's a good example of one of those games. Minecraft, great example. Sandbox games, strategy games, things that are non-linear. That's what that's what we're kind of thinking. I won't say that's official just yet. Next week you'll know if that becomes a thing. But because that's the nature of the next show, I picked this next tiny little story because it kind of made me smile. You don't hear about this a whole lot. Prison Architect breaks free of early access next week.
Oh.
Wow.
That game has been in early access forever.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah, that's right. I
really
think I mentioned
exciting.
that.
3
I'm-
years.
now
As long as this show.
are they done with the game? When it comes out,
Why
or
do you gotta ask a follow-up? I just read the headline. This is classic Everything Noob. You don't do research.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
like I've been watching that game, and I kept telling myself I'll buy it when it's not early access, and now here we are at the precipice of it not being early access. So now I'm gonna have to either put up or shut up when it comes to Prison Architect.
Well,
Like, can I expect further updates, or will it just be what it's gonna be when it comes out?
Well, it says here, and I just read a line that kind of concerns me. The update that signals the game's release from EA brings with it 4 new story chapters for the game's campaign, as well as a new mode that lets you play as a prisoner who's trying to escape. EA? Like the EA?
what?
Probably because they do have an indie game studio that they kind of fund indie game projects with. So,
But this seems so small. Like, it doesn't seem like anything.
It seems
EA
so
even-
notch
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. But they're adding a new game mode, 4 new story chapters, so we are seeing some updates with it.
okay, so there'll be at least a little bit to come.
If that's the EA, if that's what we think it is, then there's a whole tangent there about how that's not really indie games, but I'm not even going to go into that right now because
Well, we already had a show about
we already
that,
had
where
that. You can go
like
back and look.
if your indie studio is funded by a AAA studio, you're not really that indie.
No,
You're somewhere in between.
phony.
By the way, my
You're like a
name is
B
in that
studio.
game.
Your what? Your name?
My name is in that game.
That's right. Dreadlow's name is in that game.
I'm sure
Find
EA will
find
strip
yourself
it
a
out.
Dreadlow in prison Dreadlow. That's true. That's an actual true fact. Tell them why.
Well, because they have the name in the game thing, and I think is it Rim? No, RimWorld. You can make anything you want.
Yeah.
You can name them anything you want. But this one here is where you could get a random prisoner in your prison in Prison Architect, and it could be one of the names in the game. Now that registered
One of the
for that.
backers or something.
Yeah, you either were a backer or you can actually pay for it. There's a name in the game version on Steam that you can buy, and you have to register it, and then you register your own description and all that stuff about who this person is, and then they approve it, and then they put your name in the game.
That's cool.
So you could be sitting there
Get in
playing,
on
and all of
that
a sudden
before next
you
week.
can get in there. Yeah, I don't know.
Stop by then.
If they're still doing
Yeah.
it, yeah.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure if it's even still going on. To tell you the truth, that was a long time ago. I did that.
So in other news, other indie game, non-linear indie game news, there's another game I have not played yet. I don't know much about it. I know our friend Weem is playing the hell out of it though. It's called Planet Base, and they announced on September 26th a release date and a price for the game. Again, we don't see this a whole lot, so that's why I thought, oh, that's cool. These indie games are getting actual release dates. Scheduled for October 16th, and it'll be $20, $19.99, which I think, judging by what I have seen, is a very fair price.
Oh yeah, this looks like one of those kind of games that you just get into. You know, you just keep going.
Yeah. I love stuff like that.
I don't know. Can you leave? Can you actually leave the planet, and go to a different planet, and build there too?
I don't know. I haven't looked at enough of it. It's just
Yeah.
been little things I've read about it and seen some screenshots. I've been waiting till Weem builds up some episodes. I'm gonna watch what he's done because I like just binge
for
watching
those
his
that
stuff.
for those that don't know what we're talking about, the planet base is basically like, it's kind of like RimWorld in a sense, because you got a few characters that will build and do things, and but it's more of a three-dimensional kind of
Yeah, the
aspect.
graphics are a lot nicer.
Yeah, and but I don't know what kind of AI it's got, if there's going to be anything coming at you or attacking you, or I know there's meteors that come out of the sky, but other than that, it's basically a base building game, and you're there to survive. So
Yeah, that's in a nutshell what I've read.
yeah, I just, because we were talking about a game and people might be listening going, what game are they talking about? So
Well,
there you go.
Planet Base. There we
Yeah.
go. You know what? Like, I have Prison Architect. Have not played it.
What?
I know. It's just one of those things. Like, I got it after I got RimWorld, and I played RimWorld. I played the hell out of RimWorld, and everyone told me, this is like Prison Architect, only they have more stuff. And when someone tells you that, you're like, well, why would I play Prison Architect? There's plenty of reason to play it, though. I'm going to. I'm sure I will. But now this
Here's
is even more
something
of
you
an
should
excuse.
do. Start building your base or whatever, and do it kind of a little bit before bed, and then just like stop and just leave it running and go to bed.
Did you do this?
Um, I didn't do it personally. We were kind of playing as a group, and it was a party around. It was actually November of last year, and we kind of forgot about it because we got caught up like laughing about other things or whatever. We all go to bed, and we wake up, and every prisoner was like dead, and like the front outside too, because they couldn't get in because we weren't letting anybody in. So like everybody was dead out in the front yard of the prison. And so it was like took forever to clean that mess up. It's like, well, I mean, it took care of the criminal problem, if you ask me, in a very gruesome, horrible way. But
I hear Dreadlow's dogs reenacting the scene.
Oh my gosh.
they're on the loose.
Somebody's coming home, and usually they're not here this late. So that's one of the reasons why the dogs are going nuts.
Chaos at the Dreadlow Studios. Why do they let dogs in again?
Because they're so cute.
I was looking at YouTube's live section, and they have the little animal cameras. I was looking at the kitten rescue cam, and it was like these kittens crawling over these people, but they were like all lap cats. All of them were like laying all over the people, and like I wish I had a cat that nice.
I can't look at those.
I know, it makes me want to
that
just go
the
out and
other
buy some
day.
cats.
No. See, like they're just too cute for me. So I'll actually start crying. I don't understand. Like if I'm in person, it's not a problem. But like through a camera on a screen, I watch them just like play, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's so cute.
I'm overwhelmed with cat emotion.
Yeah, I'm pretty much overwhelmed by kittens and puppies occasionally. Depends on the puppy though. Puppies are a toss-up.
Puppies are pretty cute. They're okay.
No, like some
For
puppies
animals.
are really cute, and then some puppies, they fell out of the ugly tree.
I like when people take those, I think they're Yorkies, or they kind of look like Yorkies, one or the other, and they groom them so the head is shaped like a block. Have you seen those pictures?
Oh, yes!
Like there's a cube.
Oh, jeez.
I feel like it's like mean, though.
It's
Like, I know it doesn't hurt the dog or anything like that, but it's like, come on.
every time you see it, you just laugh. Dog's like, why is everyone laughing at me all the time?
That would be even cooler if they
Ever
kind
since
of
that haircut.
They paint the bottom brown with the top green and
Like grass block.
write
walking.
Minecraft on the side of his body or
You
something.
could do that with like a poodle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like poodle-looking dogs. It could be Yorkie. I don't know. I've just seen it a few times.
There's
Maybe
Bichons.
not.
I've seen people do it with Bichons too. But like those are white, so you can technically quote unquote temporary dye their fur with safe dyes. I've heard sugar-free Kool-Aid.
Sugar-free Kool-Aid, really?
Yeah, I had a poodle and I wanted so desperately to dye it purple, and I did Google how to do it, and everybody's like, as long as you use sugar-free Kool-Aid, and you can you can dye your poodle all those cute colors. But my dad was like, no, this is a manly dog. You're not doing that to him.
That's hilarious.
Leave the dog alone.
Pretty
Purple.
much. You leave the dog alone.
A purple poodle.
He
Yeah.
was pretty badass little poodle.
Well, moving back on to some more gaming stories. This one's really cool. You guys remember Game Dev Tycoon?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about them a while back when they...
There was another company that made another game that's almost exactly
Isn't
the
it on the phones?
same as that one.
Yeah. There's probably a few different variations of it. But if you ever play games like Lemonade Tycoon or any of those little tycoon games, this is very similar. You start out, you're a guy in your garage, you're coding games in the 80s, and technology improves. You start making more money from your games, and you get to just choose little things like what engine you're going to use, what kind of game it's going to be, and that just determines some algorithm that determines how well it's going to sell. And you just build your business, eventually move into an office space, and times change. Now there's Game Boys and Nintendos and so on and so forth.
Right.
And it just kind of progresses from there. So that's Game Dev Tycoon. The reason it's coming back up in the news is because they have decided until October 10th, Greenheart Games, the developers, are going to be donating 100% of their profits from the Game Dev Tycoon sales to help the refugees in Europe.
Aww.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really cool. I encourage you to purchase this game if you don't already own it,
because
Yeah.
it is a lot of fun. It's a
Help
very
people.
cheap game, and you can buy it on their website, greenheartgames.com, and they have a refugee crisis
Well,
charity
you can get
sale.
it through Steam and stuff, but I guess if you bought it through Steam, not 100% of the proceeds would go.
Yeah,
Some of that would go to Steam.
yeah. So they have like a counter showing how many copies they've sold. It's a $10 game, so the price I think has gone up. I'm not sure if it was for this occasion or just updates over time. It used to be, I think, cheaper. But
It went on sale a lot, though, so you may be
It's
confused
true.
about that.
yeah, that's true. The current number they've raised is $612.71. And it says, see this number? 49 generous people made this possible by giving an average of $12.50. Your contribution will make a difference. So I'm guessing you can also, if you hit buy now, maybe choose your price. You can. You can absolutely choose your price. So
Well,
people
that's-
have been paying an average of $12.50. So that is pretty cool. People have been paying a couple bucks more and supporting the refugee crisis. And I love that game. I feel like I didn't give it enough time.
it's-
I got frustrated with it because I got stuck, and I was like, I never went back to it. I did that rage, like, I need to take a break because I'm stuck, and I just never went back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept getting some really bad reviews, and
That's weird. I don't know why it would.
I don't know.
I'm
It's the
sure
way
if we
you
read the
pick-
reviews, we'd figure it out. But
It's the way you pick the engine and all that stuff that's going on.
No,
yeah,
he meant in the
we should-
game. Like
that's what I
his
meant.
Phone game got bad
God
reviews.
damn! It's
Not
Oh.
the game jam did.
stupid Inception confusing me.
Oh
Ugh.
no! In the game, you get your reviews, and that's how you get paid and how the success of the game gets. So, if your reviews are bad, then your game kind of plummets, and that's the problem I was having, and I was kind of frustrated with
What
it.
you need to do is pay off some
And I've got
politician in the
a
game,
legitimate
and he-
copy, if you remember. Isn't that the game that had that thing in there where you could never possibly win the game because of the
Yes.
fact that they coded it so that anybody...
If you pirated it, you would get a copy of the game that seemed legit, and as you played, eventually your games would get pirated.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
It's rough.
it was one of the best little Easter eggs I've ever seen for like a game fighting piracy.
I mean, it was so cheap that it's insulting that you would pirate that.
It is.
I know. It's like... And especially now with this refugee crisis and funds going towards that would be really bad. Shame on you for
Shame
pirating
on you
it.
indeed. So there you go. Help out the refugee crisis. I gotta play the game. That game has had so many updates since I last played. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't even play the same.
Yeah, well, when I went over to when I've reformatted my hard drive and stuff and started over, that was one of the games I didn't reinstall. So maybe I'll install
It'll
it.
take you 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's a fast game. I've got 200 and something games, so it's like,
Boo hoo.
what to choose.
So something else that happened yesterday that kind of caught my interest thanks to our friend Weem. WildStar went free to play. If you don't remember what that is, it's basically a big MMO that was very highly anticipated and kind of fell flat on its face. My opinion.
Supposedly a WoW killer.
I'm not
is-
really surprised by this
I'm not
information.
Not at
Yeah,
all.
Rift did the same thing. They went free to play after a while because they were considered a WoW killer as well, and it just didn't work out.
They set themselves up for failure by doing that. Like, don't try to be WoW. Try to be successful.
Well, that's what they
like
do.
WoW.
They pump up the game so much that people are looking forward to it, and they go into the game. They go, "This is just another grinding MMO."
yeah,
You
I know.
And then they get frustrated and don't play
Yeah,
it.
they
That's
they
what
pump it
happens.
up too, and it's like no MMO is like at its peak of playability and awesomeness right at release.
Yeah.
The thing about MMOs, it's a game in patience because not everything to do is gonna be out on release of like the initial launch or any of the expansion packs or something. You're gonna have to wait for a patch down the road, or
Yeah, it's like-
it will release and it's broken.
I've always said that WoW was the Disneyland of MMOs, whereas your other MMOs are more like Six Flags or something like that.
It's true.
And it's. I
I see
mean,
what
it
he's saying.
is. There's
Yeah.
just. I mean, I'm sorry, but as many MMOs as I've played in the past, nothing compares to World of Warcraft.
one you
Even though
always
I'm
go
kind
back
of
to.
disappointed, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in some of the things they've done. It's still fun. I
Are you
still
gonna
play it.
go back when they release the newest expansion?
I haven't even got the last expansion, so
Oh,
I don't
well,
know.
that
I'm
answers
waiting
that
for them
question.
to bulk it up and do another chest, and that way I can just,
Aha.
you know,
They'll
buy the
always
last
do that.
expansions.
I'm sure once they build up some more, they'll do that again, but you'll never get the newest one. You'll have to buy that separate.
Yeah.
I never bought one single expansion for WoW, and then they gave everyone all of them for free, and I started playing again. And I never even got far enough to get into that. Well, I did get pretty far, but I didn't get far enough and actually play some of that newer content. So I've just still always enjoyed the classic WoW, and not all
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
stuff. Some new stuff that was sprinkled in there, like the pet battles, like Pokemon. I love
Oh
that.
yeah,
That was
those are
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Those are
They're
really
gonna add that to 14. I'm so excited.
Oh wow.
Pet battles.
Oh my god,
Heck
I have
yeah.
so many minions already. I'm just like, oh, it's going down.
Yeah, I mean they've tried. A lot of new MMOs have tried to bring in the building aspect. Having your house and building it and things like that. And I think uh, EverQuest Next is supposed to have that kind of thing. But I think they're a little late. I think that's pretty much died off. I mean, a lot of people have home and place, but to build an MMO is just. I don't think it's gonna fly. So.
It really can't. I mean, you got to do something way, 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 way different now, and that it's just one of those things. We've kind of done a lot. We've gone as far as we can with a lot of these games, these MMOs. In I don't know. I don't want to give a bunch of
Gotta
examples
offer
because I'm kind of
something,
talking on my ass
something.
right now. But honestly, we've gone really far with them. We can do a lot of cool stuff, but it's always going to be like get a quest, get XP from doing the quest. They try to write this awesome story, but a lot of people don't pay attention, like myself. And
Right.
it just, I don't know. It's just one of those things where when you have a game like WoW, let's say WoW didn't exist, something else would be capturing our attention. I'm not saying WoW didn't exist in lieu of another game existing. I'm saying let's just take WoW out of the equation. Don't replace it with anything. Which game would be on top right now?
Yeah. It's
I mean, I
impossible
couldn't
to
tell you.
I
Because
couldn't either.
WoW took over. WoW was just it. And anytime a new game came out, it always had to deal with that comparison. And people who played WoW looking for something different would go to that game. I'm sure a lot of them enjoyed it. But a lot of other people were like, well, this is too different, and it makes me want to go back to WoW. And that's what I did. Every single time I tried a new MMO, I'm like, I have the itch now, but I don't want to play this MMO.
The only one I really thought was fun and similar to the WoW experience was a LODS Online. That's probably the only one that I would suggest a WoW player if they don't want to pay for it's a free to play. It's called a LODS Online. It's a lot of fun. There's interactive quests kind of like in World of Warcraft, and I
Guild
don't know, I
Wars
really
2
like
did that for me. That was one of the MMOs I actually played a lot more of.
I want to get the expansion pack for that, but like I can't like niche out the time right now to sit and play through it.
Yeah, I didn't. I got close-ish to max level and never completed it, but I did play a lot more than I thought I would of Guild Wars 2, and
You
yeah.
really missed out. You should have got to
I
max
know.
level.
I know. When we all played, all Dan wanted to do was get the stupid landmarks.
I know. I just kept running up on top of all the landmarks. It was so addictive to like get that whole area 100%.
Oh, what are you doing? Let's go over here and do this quest. Oh, I want to get this landmark.
That was like secondary for me. It's like I'm gonna go around and get all these little waypoints or whatever, and on the way I'm gonna do like every little active quest on the way, and then I'll try to get all the landmarks because it's a bonus EXP or whatever, and then I'll
Yeah.
move to the next area, and you can easily cap out your level way before you like finish everything.
I know. I should just do the quests and then I would cap out my level, but every time it was so like OCD about getting those stupid landmarks. Every damn time.
You got obsessed.
Well, okay.
You
so
got goodies though for finishing it.
So you
though.
get the
you get a whole
landmark.
chest full of crap.
They have changed it to where like now you don't get the rewards for those quests complete. Like you don't get them in the mail anymore. It just drops in your inventory.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was clogging up. Like, I didn't like the mail system. I was like, why do I have to do this? This is so clunky.
Yeah, it was
You
weird.
should just get the reward. Yeah. They
I
do
mean,
that
they-
in Sky
Some
Saga.
other things
Sky
too,
Saga does the same thing where you have to go to your mailbox. But
Yeah.
luckily, there's a mailbox in the main city, and there's one at your own
There's a
house.
lot of
no.
mailboxes.
In Guild
On
Wars 2, you
island.
never had to run to the mailbox. It was just there with you always.
Yeah, that's right.
But like to get your quest reward money, you still had to open up your like mailbox, and I think it would cap out and you would stop getting your mail. So then you're losing quest rewards if you forgot to look at your mailbox to collect your token money for doing these quests.
Yeah, that's true.
It was so bizarre that you had to do that. It's like, why not just give me a little splash screen and say it's been added to my inventory?
Pay $5.99 for extra mailbox space. No, I was kidding.
So speaking of that, though,
Earn your diamonds to get it. Play the market.
let's talk about some of the things WildStar did in releasing their game for free. So
Oh, okay.
WildStar, you can buy it now for $15. I'm guessing a month. Yeah, it's a signature subscription for 30 days. So just like Elder Scrolls Online, if you pay the monthly fee, the old monthly fee of $14.99, you're going to get more stuff. But everyone has access to the entire game world, and you can still go on and play it. But there's a whole list here, and it just kind of compares the signature version to the free version. And kudos to them for using the word signature and not premium. Trying to soften the blow there.
There we go with a new term.
Yeah, new terms. So some of the more damning examples for me was the queue bypass. You have no priority as a free member, but a signature member gets priority access. And I discovered this today. Say that again?
In the queue system?
Yes, there's a queue system, and the queue, I'm not talking
Ew.
about dungeon queue. I'm talking about getting in the game queue, because
Ew.
the game is so full of new people trying it that the servers are completely full, overloaded. Today I tried to play. I was number 243 in line, and my wait time was approximately 1 hour and 33 minutes.
Pick a number.
You know what? I can see why they would give priority to the people who paid the subscription, though. Like,
Of
I get
course.
that. But
Why
if it
aren't-
was dungeon queues, I would be so mad.
why aren't there free servers versus paid servers? There are 2 servers available to me. 2. I don't know if that's because I haven't paid or there are just 2 servers for WildStar. Because
There's probably just 2 servers.
because it did so poorly, I have to assume that there's only 2 servers. Because none of the features here mention anything about exclusive servers. The queue bypass is there, but there's nothing that says exclusive server. Let's see. And if I come across that, I will correct myself. War parties. If you're free, you cannot invite into or create a war party, but you can be you can be invited into a war party. You just can't make one. I don't know if a war party is like a raid in Warcraft or it's like a PvP term, but I think Arena Team answers the question. Same thing. You cannot invite people into an arena party or create one.
Ew.
So I'm guessing if you want to go on a raid with somebody in WildStar, you have to be invited because you're not paying for the game. So if 2 free people want to go on the same raid team, they got to find some poor sap who's paying for WildStar to do it.
Well, I mean, part of an MMO is you create a social network, though. So chances are, if you're in a good guild, there'll be somebody who's your friend and can be run as a guild.
Yes.
It's not such a big deal, but at the same time, it's that's kind of ewy that I'm stuck. If I want to play with my friends, I have to definitely have that network and get in with a guild and make some friends, or I'm just stuck with a bunch of pickups.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the other rewards are just percentage increases of different things. For example, challenge reward track, you get 25% increase at the signature membership. Circuit board crafting is 10% target radius size. Not sure what that means. That's probably for some kind of building thing. Holiday events. Again, I've played this game I'll tell you why I stopped playing this game in a second. But holiday events, you earn 25% extra currency. Reputation, 50 more percent. I don't know, just a bunch of numbers now.
There's a wait here cooldown. You have a 1 hour cooldown in the free version, and a 50% reduction in that in the signature version. I'm not sure what wake here is. It's probably just a resting thing.
It could be a death thing as well.
XP. In general, you earn normal rate XP in the free version, but you get a 25% increase in the signature version. Those things I expect to see. But the inability to not create a party is, in my opinion, very, very damning.
I know, because it's almost you can't even play the game.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
with
wondering
that.
if that's just like you said, like specifically for their terminology is war party.
Yeah,
But
I
it
mean,
could
if
be a
that's the
raid party,
PvP,
and
then
the
that's not
arena.
so bad.
Yeah, the arena would be more of a PvP. So those are, I would imagine you can create a regular party, like an adventuring party or a party where you can go and quest together or something. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
regular party.
A regular party for questing probably exists, but I'm guessing a war party is like specific to raiding dungeons.
It could
of some
also
kind.
be a guild.
Guilds you can't make. They mentioned guilds. Guilds you cannot
Oh,
make
okay.
in free. So yeah, a lot of things in there that's kind of like, ugh. Cannot invite into or create a guild, but you can in signature.
I can't say it's unfair though,
It's
but
not
at the same
like,
time,
you're getting
if you
content
want
for
to,
free.
if you
Yeah.
want to hook people, I think you have to give them a little more than what you're giving.
Yes.
But what about like leveling caps and things like that? Is there anything in
I
there
think
about
that's
that?
uncapped.
There's no.
Unlimited?
It doesn't mention anything about level caps. Everything, all those things are just increases in the time it would take to level because you get 25% extra XP.
Right.
So you're going to see people who are paying for the signature membership level up a lot faster.
Because like in World of Warcraft, they have a level 20 cap.
Yeah.
You can actually play for free up to level 20. Well, once you reach level 20, that's it.
So that's in kind of, a brief overview. That is WildStar's new free version. If you can get into the game, maybe give it a try. I've been trying to get into it just to see what it's like. I got into early access, whatever they called it, alpha, beta, whatever, and I hated it. I remember venting about it on the podcast, I think.
I think I played it once and I didn't like it either.
You know what got me was the map. I was trying to navigate the damn thing, and they had so much junk on that little map. I couldn't see where I was going. It didn't make sense because there were like arrows on the floor in the game, and when you look on the map, those arrows were there on the map, and so you're like, okay, is that the arrow I'm supposed to follow? You would set like a Q mark, or not a Q mark, like a waypoint marker, and you couldn't see it because of all the junk on the map. They seem to have fixed that. Just the UI in general was just terrible, and all it felt like was poorly done WoW in space.
Could you customize the UI and you just didn't take the time to do that? I imagine
I messed
maybe
with
now
that
you
map
could.
for a little bit, and I remember just getting frustrated with it.
'Cause-
Other features of the UI, I don't know, maybe. I didn't play it very long. I
Usually
did not
if
give that
you-
game a chance.
Modern MMOs, if they want to do well, somewhere buried deep in the settings, they usually let you fully customize the UI and like drag and drop if you want to see this at all or not. Usually it's there now. It's almost to be an expected feature because you want it to feel like home.
Yeah. So, WildStar. That's kind of all I have to say about that. I'm going to keep trying to get in there. I would really like to see what it has to offer, especially because it's free. But those 2 servers, I even tweeted them. I'm like, are you guys going to do anything about this? And I didn't get a response. They were responding to people. Maybe I was too rude. I don't know. You gotta have more servers. I mean, if you're doing a try before you buy kind of deal, which is kind of what I'm guessing they want people to eventually pay for it, people can't try it if they can't log in. You got to invest a little more.
Right.
Well, maybe they're hoping that the influx of extra people and stuff will generate a little more revenue and they can drop in a couple more servers. Like this may be a last ditch.
Yeah.
We need this to do this model so we can actually make money now.
Yeah, they might be at a very, very like poor spot right now, and their budget just doesn't allow for it. But I mean, I don't know. Did you shoot yourself in the foot? Are you gonna have a whole bunch of bad reviews from this now?
I
People
don't think
can't
so.
even
I think
play.
it's probably a good move for them.
Weem
They'll
was-
probably make a lot more money now because of it.
Weem was playing, and he said that he was having trouble just picking up loot. He would hit the hotkey to pick up loot, and it would just sit there for a while and do nothing. And the lag was just unbearable throughout the whole game because you have
Ew.
a full server. You know, the one you're playing on is full inevitably because there's only 2, and
Wow.
that's like crazy to me. Even low budget games like RuneScape are getting by with, you know, dozens and dozens of servers. So, I mean, I wish them luck. Plenty of people like WildStar.
I can't give up my addiction. love it.
I know you
Still
can't.
too much. It's so much fun, and I love my guild.
Well, that's good.
They're my besties.
Yay, guild members. Palate cleansing story.
No, we play other games too now outside of that 14.
Mini
So.
games in the game don't count.
No, like other Steam games and stuff. We've played Left 4 Dead together, and right now they're all into League of Legends. I've been giving that a miss, and they are begging me to come to League of Legends, and I'm just like, if you guys
Tell
would
them to
pick
go
up,
to Smite.
I've even like subtly suggested, like, yeah, do you want to try Smite? And like they're like, no, we're all in League of Legends. I'm like, whatever. Then I'll just wait till you get onto some other fad.
Yeah. I'm nope. Don't even want to talk about it.
Okay, so I just logged into WildStar with my old
Are you
username,
about to brag about something?
and it works.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
there you go.
Well, can you play? Can you move your character around?
Well, I haven't gone into the game.
Oh,
I'm
no,
just
you
going
haven't.
on-
Because he's on a free account.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I was surprised Weem got in as quick as he did. But he did say he had to wait. Probably just not an hour and 33 minutes like I did. I was like, nope, not happening.
He clicked that button just a little bit faster than you and got there before the wave.
I made my character. I made him perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. And I hit the button to enter the game, and it was just a little tiny loading hourglass that wasn't moving. My character was like doing his thing, like looking around. He was animated, but it was just sitting there. And I must have sat there for like 10 minutes while I was on Skype talking to Weem, waiting, and finally I just gave up. And my character's gone. I got to remake it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just
that
stupid.
sucks.
Well, I didn't put too much work into him, but I did make him look cool, and I was just mad about his stupid wild star. Stupid. Meh.
Yeah, I have a free account, so I'm ready to go.
No, you're not.
Just download
you-
it.
you-
You've
ready
got
forever.
an hour to wait.
And it's like, kind
Better
of
go
late.
get a snack
Kids
and
have
go
eaten their
watch the
dinner.
news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It might be a school night, but you're still gonna have to wade through all that crap.
I can imagine being a school-aged person trying to log into that, and it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna run to my computer, get in queue while my mom's not looking, and then go do my homework. Because as a parent, if your parents are doing their job, they're gonna be like, no, you do your homework first. And so, like, you're turning your monitor off, so they can't see that, and be like, no, mom, I'm doing my homework. Because it's like you've got 2 hours to burn before you can actually play. You might as well do your homework.
As if I ever become a parent, as someone who grew up in that whole era, and I'm still appreciating it now into my 20s, I'm definitely going to have those understandings for my kids. I will make them do their homework, but if they need to get in a queue for a game, I'll be, all right, cool. Look, get in your queue, do your homework while you wait.
See, the thing is, back in the day, we didn't have computers.
Don't give me
so
this. Don't back in the
we
day.
had little consoles like Nintendo and stuff.
Yeah, but you didn't
So-
have to wait 2 hours for that to warm up.
Yeah, but in order for us to get yelled at for not doing our homework, we couldn't put the game aside and pretend that we're doing our homework because it was on the TV.
Yeah.
We had to be in our room doing our homework. So nowadays, kids have computers and they can do their homework on their computer and they can just tap, especially with Windows 10 now, we got multiple desktops. They can sit there and they go right to the game.
No,
got it so
I'm
easy
tech
nowadays.
savvy. No. It would be blocked. That game would be blocked during certain hours. Be like, oh, is your homework done? Click. Okay, now you can play. Enjoy.
It's like block it in a firewall or something.
So,
Uh,
palate cleansing story. a Roller Coaster Tycoon World release date. Is this just for me? Is it no one else excited
Yeah,
about Roller
I'm
Coaster
not
Tycoon
like
World?
huge on the
Roller-
tycoon games.
A roller coaster tycoon world.
Is it like a multiplayer
Yes.
version, or is it just like the new version?
I think it's just the new. They haven't made one in
Because
years.
the world part makes me think like it connects with other people's like theme parks, and you compete in some weird way.
That didn't work too well for SimCity. I would hope they kind of, if they did that, they figured out a way to do it right. But I would just.
Well, I mean, just
Avoid
like
it.
roster boards where it's like, oh, so and so's making so many dollars an hour, and their happiness in their park is this, and like here you can go look at their park, but you can't really like do anything. I mean, it's nice, it's there, but like those tycoon games aren't really meant for multiplayer.
Oh, you know,
Nobody
what's so
wants
cool?
that.
If they make it to where you can visit like somebody's like,
And you could ride their rides.
and you
It's
could ride the
single
rides,
player.
but you use the money that you would use to build with to go in their park, and then that person would get that money, and he can increase
Oh my
his
gosh.
whatever. And then you could say, well, I like that idea. I'm going to do that to my park. And then you do it to your park, and you hope to make some money too. You know, kind of like an inter-community thing where you can make money off each other building your own park.
Too bad you weren't in the meetings for this one because it's single player.
Oh,
But it will have Steam trading cards if you're
No,
interested.
you know what? That's good that it's single player. The Steam trading
Oh, yeah.
cards, ugh. You know what? I like that it's not mandatory to be a part of the Steam community, though. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's just for those people who love to collect collectibles.
I'm
I got. Well, you tried it. I gave you a bunch of my cards, and what, you gave up on it already?
no one's trading me really.
Well, because nobody really does it except for those like
There are
hardcore
people
obsessed
with like
people.
tons of cards, and I'm looking at their inventories of cards, and I'm like, "Do you want to trade?" And they ignore the trade, and I'm like, "Come on, man!"
Because like nobody, it doesn't really pop up if you send a trade request. Like they get the little like icon that they have a message, but it never blips up like an IM message or anything.
Well, Steam has some work to do then. You know what's a huge missed opportunity? I was thinking about Steam should absolutely either A, increase the level of usability of the Steam app on your phone, which sucks, by the way.
Oh yes, I
Or-
would love a better Steam app.
Or B, incorporate a trading card Steam app separate from the Steam app that lets you simply just trade the cards with nicer animations and trade them with people you run into on the street. Like, oh, you have Steam too. Let's look at,
Oh, you know what would be really good is if they just made like a mini game out of them and you could play.
That's what I was just gonna
Sort
say.
of like
Yeah.
trading card game with your Steam trading cards.
yes.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Huge missed opportunity there, Steam.
Come on, that's how Steam started. They were Valve. They created Left 4 Dead. They created
Half-Life?
Half-Life.
Is that what you're looking for?
Well, we're still waiting for the next Half-Life. That's probably never going to come. But
It's confirmed. It's been so confirmed.
It's so confirmed.
But yeah, that'd be
Coaster
cool.
Tycoon
Little
World
trading.
is another installment of Roller Coaster Tycoon, which means Half-Life 3.
They started out as a game developer. Why can't they come up with a game like that? That'd be cool.
Because they don't do
They're
that
too busy
anymore.
jerking off with all their money they've made.
They like spin-off products of their
Yeah.
mainstream product. And they're like, yeah, we'll just absorb that.
Well,
Yeah.
it's coming out December 10th, 2015, and it's going to be a base price of $50. So, Roller Coaster Tycoon World, if you don't know anything about Roller Coaster Tycoon, get yourself like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, or even the old ones, which still are very fun, and play the hell out of it because, man, it was such a fun game.
And let a bunch of animals loose in the park.
Yes,
That's always
everywhere. Zoo animals everywhere. You give them killing people. It's amazing. It's delete tracks in your roller coasters and watch them fly into the forest and then get sued. It's so fun.
It's just like Grand Theft Auto.
Really, you don't get sued. They just don't ride the roller coaster anymore. They all bitch out. They're like, "Nah, I fixed
Yeah.
it, guys. Nah, we don't want to ride that."
No, no.
People died riding that. I'm not riding that.
Thanks, Jim Gaffigan.
Oh man.
I am going to say that I think this show is over.
All right.
We have to wrap up.
All right.
But thank you all for listening. Second to last episode. We'll be back next week for a final time as Everything Noob. And you can catch all our episodes on the Everything Noob YouTube channel. Of course, also everythingnoob.com. Everythingnoob.com will continue to lead you to our new show. But that we're going to be just basically promoting that as vortecvids.com, or perhaps even once we figure out the show name, making that a URL all its own. But it all leads to the same place. So don't be discouraged. You can still find all the old episodes of the show there, all the upcoming stuff we're doing. So there you go. Cool stuff. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm sorry?
I just thumbs up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say that. Well, thank you for listening. We will see you next week.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Everything Noob podcast. Hit up everythingnoob.com for our show notes, blogs, YouTube and Twitch channels, previous episodes, and even a t-shirt store. Please game responsibly, and we'll see you next week.